Let us start by standing for the playing of the national anthem. Please remain standing as we invite Reverend Jacob Powell, the President of the Black River Pastors Fraternal, to lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, thou lover of peace and harmony, who has called us to love and unity, we pause before you, from whom all mercies flow. We pray that as we gather in this place, you so rule our hearts by your Holy Spirit, that we, being delivered by the true fear of the holy, from all fear of man, may always demonstrate righteousness, mercy, humility, and gentleness towards each other. Lord, whom all your good creatures bless and praise, we pray for our country, Jamaica, that you might heal our land. You alone give us breath and can give and keep in us the breathing of holy desires, for the greater good of all, especially the weak and vulnerable. So purify our thoughts and endeavors, that we may not engage in any action without your intention, nor your blessing. O gracious God, guide the plans of the Ministry of National Security, so that criminal networks, corrupt undertakings, organized plans that lead to bloodletting, gangsterism, scamming, and all forms of illegal activities might be dealt a decisive and destructive blow that will purge our land. O God, help us to be inspired by your wisdom, and in works be upheld by the strength that you give, having done all things to your glory, and thereby to our endless praise. Grant this prayer, we beseech you, O Lord, through Jesus Christ, our Savior.
Thank you very much, Reverend Powell. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Robert Montague, Mayor of Black River, Councillor Derek Saxton, Senator the Honorable Colonel Charles Jr., Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security, Deputy Commissioner Clifford Blake, other members, well, me say I don't know your type, but you are family, right? Chief Technical Director, Chief Technical Director, other members of the team from the Ministry of National Security, other political representatives. I see Councillor Whitney Smith is here, Superintendent Lawrence, Superintendent for the Parish of St. Elizabeth, Assistant Commissioner Chambers from Area 3, other specially invited guests who are too many to name. So as you know, once you are here, you are part of the family. So I say, welcome. My name is Floyd Green. I am your Member of Parliament, but more importantly tonight, I am the Master of Ceremonies for this event. Let me welcome the team from the Ministry of National Security here to St. Elizabeth, especially to Southwest St. Elizabeth. We expect to have a robust discussion about how we keep our communities safe and our parish safe. Over the years, St. Elizabeth has prided itself as being the safest, if not one of the safest parishes in the entire Jamaica. We have been having some challenges in recent times. I must give my own commendations to the Minister of National Security, because when I saw what was happening in St. Elizabeth with the uptick in crime, I called the Minister and I said, Minister, we need your intervention. We need intervention at the highest level because we want to keep St. Elizabeth safe. We always used to boast everywhere we go in Jamaica that we can leave our doors open and nobody would trouble us. But again, we can't boast that anymore. We want to return to those days. And as I called the minister, no soon thereafter I heard that he had organized his plans to come and to meet with us here in St. Elizabeth so that we can discuss how we can keep St. Elizabeth and Jamaica safe. So can we give the minister a warm St. Elizabeth welcome? I hear he has been, yes, I hear he has been in the parish all day. In fact, when he's outside of the parish, he tells people he's from St. Elizabeth. He often tells them when they look at him, they can know which part of St. Elizabeth. He says he's from Flagaman. I don't know how he correlates, but I guess it works. So let me welcome everybody, but we have somebody who is slated to do the official welcome. And for that, I welcome now the Mayor of Black River, Councillor Derek Saxon.
Thank you, my own Member of Parliament, Honourable Floyd Green, for the constituency of Southwest St. Elizabeth, Honourable Minister Robert Montague, Minister of National Security, Honourable Colonel Charles, other members at the head table, Reverend Powell, other reverends, my councillors of the St. Elizabeth Parish Council, Superintendent, Lord, and other officers of the force here in the parish, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, if I have omitted anyone, please forgive me. I'm often told I have this penchant to leave all persons in doing my salutation when starting. It is a great pleasure for us, Minister, to have you and your team of the ministry here with us today into this evening here in St. Elizabeth. Let me welcome you to Parity, which is in fact an extension of Black River, so to speak, as some people might refer. This initiative on your part, on behalf of the ministry, is extremely timely and welcome. There has been, over the past months, some, as the Member of Parliament alluded to, has been some slight incidents or increase, if I want to use the word, of crime. But your initiative here, sir, in taking to the road, and I assume that you are going to be moving throughout the island in the respective parishes, to sensitize and to make communities aware of the initiatives that you and your ministry are undertaking to stem the scourge of crime, to make persons aware of their own responsibilities. Because at the end of the day, the police alone cannot do it. citizens must be prepared to work with the police in ensuring that we build safe and crime-free communities. And so, Minister, I don't want to go on too long, but I want to thank you. I want to welcome you to this, the most beautiful parish. I know we have just left St. Mary, and I know you will say St. Mary is the most beautiful. But we here in St. Elizabeth, we love this parish. We treasure it. And we are prepared to work with you and your ministry to ensure that we keep it a beautiful parish, crime-free, and a parish of which we, the citizens, can be proud of. Once again, sir, I welcome you here tonight, and I am convinced and sure that your initiative, and when we leave here tonight, the people of this parish will have said it was good for us to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Sangster. Allow me also to specially recognize SSP Taylor, who is with us today. Also, Mr. Jason Henzel, the chair of the Parish Development Committee, and SSP Parkinson is also here. And a very important man who I want to go and sit beside, Whitney, ensure that you speak to Sir Kong, who is right beside you. He is the Director of Fisheries in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture, and Fisheries. And you know, fishing is very important to this part of the world. Welcome, welcome home. Well, you know, there is a story that is often told by Council Palmer about a time that George Headley came to play cricket at Michael. This is a play? Oh, well, you are the boss. So before my story, allow me to invite the Deputy Commissioner of Police to share a few words with us. No stranger to us, a man who is much closer to Flaggerman than the minister, a son of the soil of whom we are very, very proud. And we might not get enough time to tell you, Cliff, but we are proud of you. Really, the main reason why we are proud of you is because you went to Monroe. Everything else comes thereafter. Help me to welcome Deputy Commissioner Clifford Smith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Minister Montague, and members of the head table, members of the audience, good evening to everyone. When I got the call from the minister today, it was exactly 11:15. We're having a town hall meeting in Black River and you must be there. I said, Minister, I'm in the zone of special operation West Kingston, I can't make it. He said, it's impossible to have a meeting in Black River and you are not there. I said to Minister, I'll take any opportunity to go to St. Elizabeth. So I abandoned the zone there, made it through the rain, and I'm so happy to be here. And I must say, Minister, I'm always in trouble defending St. Elizabeth when it comes to resources. I remember we were just speaking with Jason last year Christmas. I fought hard to get 2 vehicles to St. Elizabeth, one for Petro Plains, and I don't know where the other one was, but somehow or the other, it has been taken away, and I promised them that I will return it as soon as we get someone. Minister, I must say, at the place where I get a vehicle, I know that we'll be able to give them 2, so Jason will be quite okay. Whenever we're having graduation, and they say, okay, 5 persons for St. Elizabeth, I say, no, put it to 15 or 20. And the commissioner say, you want everything to go St. Elizabeth. You want all the league to go St. Elizabeth. You want all the police to go St. Elizabeth. Where are the others going? as a commissioner, just understand, sentiment is dear to me. It's where I'm from. My heart is there, my family is there. Just about everything about sentiment revolves around. So I must commend you, IT Minister, and all the stakeholders. I cannot tell when last I've been to a community meeting and the turnout has had this kind of significance. And I'm really feeling good about it. And I want to commend you and the team. And just to say to my fellow parishioners, you know, I'm really proud of you people, but everyone probably turning out here. St. Elizabeth continues to be a challenge. And if I may just share something with you, I know the media is here and everybody, but St. Elizabeth, in terms of the inflows of guns coming into the island, unfortunately, we don't have a good reputation there in terms of the flow of guns coming here. So as we progress into tonight's meeting, let us look how we can share information, how we can work together to make our parish safer. Again, I'm happy to be here and I'm looking forward to a successful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Clifford, and we hope that we know your advocacy will continue in relation to St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth deserves everything. Parish in Jamaica. And everybody don't agree with me? Here, here. And the truth is, I have said to the minister, we have to be the model parish for everything. So ensure that we get the first of everything. I saw that the minister today opened a gym by the police station to ensure that our officers are in tip-top shape. I think we should give the minister a round of applause for that. That is a positive step in the right direction. So we're looking forward to continuing partnering with you, Minister, and I agree. I agree that we do need, Minister, a couple more motor vehicles. I like the pickups because our terrain is of such a nature. I know as a man from Westmoreland, you understand. We need some pickups, right? Yes, so we'll get the minister in this setting, we must tell him what we need. We need some pickups to handle the terrain so that we can adequately address the issues that we have. Anyway, I will forego the story. You want the story? I will talk a little longer. But the story is told that George Headley went to Michael to play cricket. And the stands were filled with people, brimming. And they were playing a team from Michael. And the bowler from Michael ran in first ball to George Headley. And he was wrapped straight on the pad, clear out. And he went up and him appealed. And he said, "How is it?" And the umpire said, "Not out." And the man said, "Couldn't believe it." And he walked up to the umpire and said, "Come on now, man. Take it out." Umpire said, "Look in the stands. You see all of these people? You think them come to watch you bowl or watch George Headley bat?" So I know you're not here to hear your MP. You are here to hear the Minister of National Security. Make him feel welcome, the Honorable Robert Montague.
Thank you very much, Mr. Floyd Green, one of the hardest working member of Parliament. Well, I think the second hardest member of Parliament. You know, I am number one. And I also would like to thank you, sir, on behalf of the hard-working officers in Black River for the gift of the air conditioning units that you have had installed at the Black River Police Station. Once you give a gift to a member of Parliament, Mrs. Lord, I told her to compile another list. that she will be given to you shortly. Because when I called the office of the Prime Minister, they say you still have money in CDF. So Miss Lord, you need to give him another list of things that you need. Because he don't have any bad road, he don't have any drain that full up, because his mayor take care of all of that. But DCP Blake, welcome home, sir. And when we finish, we're going to Flagaman. Because you promised to buy me a drink in Flagaman, and I'm going to hold you to it. Mr. Andre Kang from Fisheries, the persons here from the Municipal Corporation of St. Elizabeth, and all the members of the business community that are here, the tourism community, and all the good people of Black River, a pleasant good afternoon. And to big up members of the press who have been with me from morning. Our first stop in the parish was actually by Mrs. Olive Smith, whose son was unfortunately killed in Mandeville. Young Smith, Melvin Smith, was a deacon in church, a community man, a police officer, and a very good son. Father and a husband, and his life was unfortunately brought to a close by those who I call dirty criminal. And a good son of Jamaica has been lost. Tonight we are here to speak not only about the good work and the excellent work that Superintendent Lord and all the serving men and women have been doing in St. Elizabeth to make your parish one of the safest parishes in the island of Jamaica. And we want to extend our gratitude to the men and women who serve in St. Elizabeth. I also want to commend the ACP Chambers and the team from the area officer, and to ask you to continue to press DCP Blake, because he's responsible for all giving in the JCF. So anything you need, you speak to him. He's responsible for everything else except promotion. We're not going into that tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a beautiful country, but we live in a country that has a very high crime rate. But higher still is the perception of the crime rate. And it is this perception that is driving the fear that many persons have with regards to how we operate in Jamaica. In Jamaica, the Ministry of National Security is not the Ministry of the Police. And a lot of people believe that the Ministry of National Security is the Ministry of the Police. But the Ministry of National Security have many agencies and departments, such as the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Jamaica Defense Force, the Passport and Immigration and Citizenship Agency, the Firearm Licensing Authority, the Citizen Security and Justice Program, the Caribbean Regional Drug Law Enforcement Training Center, the Department of Correctional Services, the Private Security Regulation Authority, the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force, and the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, that most persons would call the Forensic Lab. And I also want to pause to pick up Senator Colonel Charles Jr., where every young lady call him handsome. Not like me, only my mother call me handsome. So I want to welcome the hardest working Minister of State. You hear that flag? Now, in Jamaica, as a nation, we are 55 years old. And people today feel powerless, frightened, and helpless with regards to crime. Crime is costing us 5% of our GDP. If you translate that into real dollars, that's $68 billion. That's what crime is costing us. You could build 30 high schools and furnish that, plus 30 hospitals and furnish them. You could buy all the police cars that Miss Lord wants, and all the boats that Andre Kang wants at fishery. You could buy all the garbage trucks you need. You could repair every street light and put put up twice as much street lights in St. Elizabeth and still leave change to give Mr. Blake to buy 2 more cars to Treasure Beach. That's what crime is costing us in Jamaica. $68 billion. That's the cost of crime. It costs $400,000 per day when a gunshot victim goes into intensive care. So that you can get an understanding of what crime is costing each and every one of us. So even if you're not a victim of crime, it is costing you because your taxpayer dollar is contributing to the $68 billion. But crime in Jamaica is targeted. Crime is not random. And as somebody once said, crime in Jamaica has a name written on it. It is not to whom it may concern. It is targeted to those who are involved in the criminal underworld. Many persons we see as decent, law-abiding and upstanding, but when you hear the story behind that face that they have, you will realize that they are contributing to crime. The criminals have networked. The criminals are organized, and that is why we have organized crime. So that we, the decent people and law-abiding people, must also organize and come together. It is when we come together we can overcome. Jamaica has 497 miles of coastline that is unprotected. We have 145 points of illegal entry, and we have 14 formal points of entry into Jamaica with our airports and seaports. At our airports and seaports, every week you hear that a gun is found, or drugs, or some contraband. And at the 14 formal points, you have X-ray machine, you have soldier, you have police, you have dog, you have private security, you have customs, you have immigration, and people still try to smuggle things through. Can you imagine what is coming in at the 145 illegal points of entry that have no supervision? Just think about it. At our illegal points of entry, there is the drug for guns trade that has turned into the drugs for meat trade, and nowadays it is the drug for the gun for anything trade, because people carry a goat meat, cow meat, pig meat, grocery, water, motorcycle, bicycle, and exchange for guns to come back into the country. The genesis of our crime problem did not start last week nor last year, although some people will tell you that it started on the 25th of February 2016, but not August. In the 1960s and 70s, the genesis of our problem was politically based. Then it morphed into the 80s, protecting the ganja trade. Then in the 19 to 2000, it was protection of the cocaine trade and the transshipment of cocaine between South America and North America. Since 2000, it has been pushed by lottery scamming, deportees, organized crime, and recently cybercrime. So all those persons with credit cards who like to flash their credit card and go into a restaurant and chew it down and make the waitress take up the credit card and go do what they want to do. Be careful with your credit card. Do not let your credit card out of your sight, because cybercrime is a growing trend in Jamaica. About 2 months ago, the police arrested 23 persons from Romania who were skimming credit cards and cloning credit cards in Jamaica. The police also arrested 3 youngsters, graduates of universities, who broke into 2 banks, broke into every health facility that was online, especially the labs, and were able to copy the medical information of hundreds of Jamaicans and then send them a note saying if you do not lodge money at a certain bank at a certain time, they will expose your medical situation. So right here in Jamaica, we are treating with a serious matter with cybercrimes. The major problem in Jamaica is the illegal guns and gangs. Guns are featured in 84% of the crimes that are committed in Jamaica. Yet we do not produce guns nor bullets. But since the start of this year, we have collected 727 illegal weapons off the streets of Jamaica and over 20,000 rounds of ammunition. and we don't make gun here, and we don't make ammunition here. 727 illegal guns. 40% of what we collected for the whole of 2016, and we are not yet done with 27. That's the magnitude of the problem. But we developed an application. Now what we found is that the top 5 most wanted gun. Because what we have done is to assign a name to every illegal gun that we know about in Jamaica. And the top 5 most wanted illegal weapons have been featured in 92 incidents across 7 police divisions, resulting in 58 murders. It therefore tells us that these 5 guns are either walking on their own from police division to police division, or they are being rented out by persons. And we see that the guns are being used across 7 police divisions because the spent shells and the casings are picked up and we log them at ballistics, and that is how we are able to identify these guns. So the hunt is on to not only find the gunman, but to find the gun. There are 2 issues that are contributing to the high level of crime and violence in Jamaica, and they are corruption and silence. There are a lot of persons that believe that it's only police and politicians that are corrupt. But that worker who takes their children's SBA to work and photocopy, and the employer's photocopy machine, that's corruption. That person who got to Mr. Stewart Hotel and take away him towel, that's corruption. And people who go to weddings and take away the caterer's spoon, that's corruption. And people who go to funeral and thief all the people them flowers and talk about the thief flowers in a catch, that too is corruption. So it's not police and politicians alone is corrupt. And Reverend, you are here, so I won't say anything about the church. If there was nobody to bribe the police could not be bribed. And there are many upstanding and lawful, decent citizens who know they're not wearing the seatbelt, and when the police give them a ticket for the seatbelt, you call Cliffy Blake to ask him if he don't know Miss Lord, to tell Miss Lord, to tell the inspector, to tell the constable, to tear up the ticket. That is corruption. So corruption runs through every level and strata of society. And when you couple that with assisting the criminals when we remain silent, and them dirty criminals are not forgetting no assistance from nobody. We the decent people, it is full time we get up, stand up and stop being afraid, stop locking ourselves away and stop telling ourselves nonsense about gunman or come off that way. It is time we, the decent people, go after the dirty criminals and go. Crime is not the police's problem. Crime is not the government's problem. Crime is our problem. And the police alone cannot treat it. The government alone cannot treat it. It will take all of society to treat with the problem of crime that we face in Jamaica. The statistics show that since the start of 2017, there has been a decrease in 5 of the major categories of crime. Aggravated assault decreased by 13.6%. Break-ins have decreased by 11.9%. Larceny by 22%. It is murder which is up by 25.9%. Rape is down by 17%. Robbery is down by 26%. And shooting is up by 25%. But in Jamaica, however, we index crime by the murder figures. And if murder is up, we have the perception that crime is up. But overall, crime is down in Jamaica, and that is why I want to commend Cliffy Blake and Superintendent Lord and ACP and all the hard-working police officers in St. Elizabeth for keeping you safe and secure with very limited resources. And I wanted to give them a round. There is no quick fix to reducing crime. There is no instant solution. There is no switch to turn on or off. We, the good people, must unite and engage in focused action. We must help the police, not the criminal. We must work together so that day by day, minute by minute, we can take back Jamaica from the criminals who are running the place. The government, in putting together a program to treat with crime, we are not putting together a crime plan. We are putting together a strategy to treat with crime as a society. And if we are to really effectively deal with it, we have to look at the 10 elements in what we are doing. Public order is the first element. Too much of our public space is just left. Taxi man park anywhere, vendor vent anywhere, man just jump out a taxi and go lean up against tree anywhere and shake off. Some of them don't even have what to shake off, much less. But they're shaking off anywhere, master. And they are running rampant. So we have to take back and put more order in our public space. Cyber crimes is an increasing threat in Jamaica. The whole matter of justice is a threat to good order. Border security, we spoke about earlier. Education, that we must begin to treat with education, not as a standalone, but as a part of the solution to solving crime. We cannot have an educational system that only concentrates on passing maths, English, biology, physics, and chemistry. What about the softer skills? What about teaching the young men to open the door for a young lady? And what about teaching the young lady that when a gentleman holds a chair for her, she must sit in it? You know how much time I open doors for ladies and them customers? I don't need you to open a door. Of course she does. But we need to utilize the educational system to begin to teach some of the softer skills. Good morning, thank you, how are you? Basic manners. Somebody speaking on the phone, you don't just walk up and talk to them. What about excuse me, can I say something to you? Those were the days when Jeremy Palmer was a boy. The whole matter of terrorism. We don't take terrorism seriously in Jamaica. And we don't begin to even think about the effects of terrorism and what it can mean for Jamaica. Can you imagine that a youngster walks off the street and walks into jails? Or anywhere down in Treasure Beach in the middle of the tourist season and open up with an M16. Just think about what it would mean in jails. In Tunisia, one man walked off the beach and opened up with an AK-47, and in 24 hours, the economy of Tunisia crashed because every tourist head to the airport, and 1 year after they don't go back. 60% of the economy went. Jamaica depends, 60% of our economy depends on tourism. So just think about it. Corruption, we spoke about. The protection of critical infrastructure in this country. There is no water system, no water commission installation that has security. None. So anybody can walk onto the compound of any water commission pumping station and do anything. Think about it. Hundreds of people jog around the corner every morning. Who is to stop one of them to walk with a gallon of poison and drink? There is no protection to any GPS operating plant. The Digicel towers and the flow towers. No protection. Have we ever thought of life if all our water sources were contaminated? That's a threat to good order. Economic security. We have to begin to look at our financial systems and financial crimes. And even within critical infrastructure is the whole matter of the continuation of government. I am sure nobody in this room will think of what I'm going to say next, not even Ras Astabla. Because as much as some people curse government, if there was no government, what would happen? Yes. There is one day in March where the future of Jamaica is threatened. It is the opening of Parliament. you have the Governor General, Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, President of the Court of Appeal, President of the Senate, DPP, every permanent secretary, every heads of agency, the head of the church, the head of the army, the head of the police, all in one place. 21 senators, 18 members of the cabinet, 63 members of parliament, all ambassadors to Jamaica, all in one little place. Suppose something happen. How would we govern the following day? Who would be in charge? Who is responsible for what? Just think about it, Andrew. Because we do not have a designated survivor. If something should happen, who begins the process of rebuilding government so that the systems can operate? Think about it. And the 10th element in securing Jamaica is crime and violence, which is a clear and present threat to the economic well-being not only of Jamaica, but of every citizen. In the crime and violence, we at the ministry have broken that down into a 5-pillar crime reduction strategy. And why we chose a strategy instead of a plan is because we have tried this planting in Jamaica too long and it don't work. Because if the plant business did work, we wouldn't be here today. So we are utilizing the citizen safety and security strategy that is built on 5 pillars, 5 simple pillars. Swift and sure justice processes. The problems we have with our justice system is for the length of time it takes a case to be tried. Police lock up a man, and after they lock him up, I bet you it take you 8 years before the case is complete if it is a serious crime. The delays in our system increase the pain and the anguish of the victims, and it emboldens the criminal. As you lock up a man, he gets bailed and he commit another crime. Because after 10, 15 years, the case is still going on. The poor police is frustrated and nothing happens, and people lose faith in the justice system, and then they take matters in their own hands. The justice system has over 30,000 cases in backlog. And we need to bring more criminals to justice with the appropriate penalties. We need to reduce the delays and try cases in a timely manner. And we have to strengthen the work of the police to prosecute and to convict. What are some of the solutions? We are working on the Restorative Justice Program. We have amended the Plea Bargaining Act. We are employing more retired judges and court staff to clear the backlog. We are putting in place a panel of retired judges to review cases over 8 years old, so that a decision can be made if you should just throw these cases or continue them. Because some of these cases, Jason, the victim dead, the perpetrator dead, the judge retired, the lawyer is disbarred, and the witness then cannot be found. But the case is still on the books. And you have many cases that have been adjourned, signing from Cliffy was a recruit over Port Royal. And it's still on the books, adjourned, signing. The government is moving to employ 20 lawyers, one to be attached to each police division to help the police to prepare better cases and to manage the cases through the courts. The second pillar is crime prevention through social development. What we see in Jamaica today is a total breakdown of the family structure and poor parenting. We see an increase in teenage pregnancies, and we also see many children becoming the heads of households. Many children are left to run the house because mother and father have to run away to work overseas and send back married. And sometimes parents are in the house, but it's the children running the house. Parents can't talk to children anymore. Parents cook and child say, "Me no want it." And parents hold them head and ball and wonder what the child want to eat. When I was a child, my mother tell me dinner ready. Full stop. Dinner ready and you come eat. I could tell my mother I don't eat pork. That them things are not going. My mother buy me a pants, she buy me a pants. Argument done. Picking all the time because me not working, you working. Children telling their parents what time they're coming in. When I was 14, my mother gave me a key to the house. It was the boss's boy in the district. Me a key to my house. But she also tell me, don't make it turn the kitchen out the road. So I do me have my key and I swing my key and post for everybody. A big man, me have the key. Get that back big on home. But I mean, you can't have it big on. Because I mean, when me ever reach home. No, my mother never been me yet. Never. One dirty look. One look. That was enough. I'm afraid of it. One look was enough. But today, children running the household, illiteracy is very high, 30% of the population. Absenteeism in school, people not going to school. You find them on roadside with them pants down and far down, all over the place, not going to school. Prevalence of gang activities, even in the schools. We are now finding gangs in our high schools and our primary schools. We have to find a multidisciplinary approach that will address the root cause of crime. Housing. 40% of our population living in farm and settlement. Poor family income, poor parent-child relations, and poor educational outcomes. As a member of parliament, I know that Floyd is given hell. Come June, everybody wants their child to graduate and the package is 7,000, 9,000. When you go graduation, everybody dressed to push foot. And half of them can't read and write. So therefore we have to begin to look at these things. Look at these issues. We have a society where most of us don't have no name. What the boy name? Bugu, Bigger, Chichi, Brownie. Police got to serve a warrant for Rudolph Brown. Nobody don't know Rudolph Brown. But if you ask the Pinky, everybody know Pinky. And they say, which Pinky is a fat Pinky or Maga Pinky? And you say Maga Pinky. Oh, bleach out one and the black one. But nobody don't have no name. And nobody don't have no address. And we live in communities that the roads are small and the police car can't go in and the ambulance can't go in and the garbage truck can't go in. And we end up with problems. And therefore, how do we address these? Homework centers, and I want to commend this to Ms. Lord, to find a space in every police station and establish a little homework center. A little homework center. Because you have police officers who are inclined to help. And you have citizens who will come and help some of the children with a little homework. And pastor will help you as well. Children curfew. What is a child of 12 years old doing on the road at 11? Why is a child in a dance and wind up on the same sound box with them parents? And the parish council, Mr. Mayor, ought not to issue any more permits for any venue that have children in the dance. And the people who have places of entertainment license must be told that if you come there and find any picnic at the dance, you're going to take away the license and make them black road for that. But we have to start to uphold some standards in this country, man. We're picnic at the dance. We have to promote more sporting and recreational programs, more community violence interventions, and we have to begin to have more life skill lessons. And we want more schools to have more cadet courses where we can begin to instill a level of discipline in our career road. Nobody don't pay that any mind. Me live side of Miss Mary. Who is Miss Mary? Nobody don't know, but this side of Miss Mary me live. A man was giving me direction there, so you go up the hills and you make the turn right where you want pan. But when I go up there, they was going back. The van not drive that way, The inability of the police vehicles to patrol many communities. We throw garbage in every train that we see. As soon as the mayor clean a drain, we the citizens just throw garbage now. As we don't in the back school, we just throw it in the drain. All mattress we throw in the drain. Washing machine, everything. Talk to your mayor and your councillor to arrange that solid waste collection. Even if you don't have regular garbage collection, they will arrange a special collection. That's what Mr. Mayor. Motherfucker used to do it, we're doing one in Anatomy one day at that community meeting like this as mayor, and says that the solid waste truck coming to collect garbage and all kind of corrosion. If you have any corrosion, just throw it out. And lady, the glow lady put up her hand and said, we can ask a question, sir. He said, we can put up the husband. He said, we say anything worthless, we can just throw. In many of our communities, there is no delivery of social services, no ambulance, no garbage truck. We have to reduce the opportunities for crime and problems. The design of many of our houses and housing schemes. Old Harbour of a police station is built 1962, 55 years old, designed to accommodate 50 police officers. In the last 8 years, 6,000 new houses have been built in and around Old Harbour, and the police station remains the same. Motherfucking don't even have 50 police officers here. So can you imagine? You're asking, motherfucker, let me come to close. That gentleman told me that in Santa Cruz they have 29 housing schemes. That's what Mr. Palmer. Because you're the lawyer for all of them. 29. And the Santa Cruz police station remains the same. With the tree, active tree around the back. And no car. Because Mr. Lord borrowed the car from Malvern to come to Santa Cruz. You hear that, Mr. Blake? They want the car down to Santa. You hear that, sir? So we have to say thank God for the mayor of Black River who has been fixing street lights across the length and breadth of this parish. Now we have a clap for me. By the way, we want some more street lights, especially up Newell. Thank you. And Flagaman. And Little Park too. Same place where Cliffy drink. Right here. So you make a note of that, especially Little Park. Some of the solutions to situational prevention. The national identification system where everybody will get an ID, including the Member of Parliament from Southeast St. Elizabeth, Frank Witter. Welcome, Mr. Witter. The development of a national CCTV network. We have already installed 21 CCTV cameras in Kingston that have the capability of reading license plates. We have CCTV installed in Mandeville, Maypen, Otres, Montego Bay, Negril, and Spanish Town. We have an arrangement with the Ministry of Local Government that no new community with more than 400 units can be built without a police post or a CCTV system to be built at the expense of the developer. The fourth pillar is what I call rehabilitation and redemption. We have 7 adult institutions in Jamaica that hold approximately 3,500 inmates. We have 4 juvenile institutions. And all of this is managed by the hard-working Minister of State, Colonel Charles Jr. He is responsible for all prisons and prisoners. And he visits the prisoners regularly. And he invites me to come, and I am not going to no prison, whether voluntary or involuntary. As I am worried that time I go visit a prison and somehow the door can't open me ready to leave. So I put Colonel in charge of prison. Amy Young. I am at the age when I'm supposed to be coming from prison and going. Amy is at the age when he can't go. So Amy Young. Added to all of that with our prisons, some 2,000 33 persons were deported over the last 5 years. And Jamaica also deported some 500 odd people. So a lot of people think we only take deportees. We deport people too. Because this minister has been signing the deportee orders very hard. So if you take Uncle Jamaica alone and take deportee, we send some to Uncle Sam and we send some to Her Majesty the Queen as well. As it's a two-way thing. You send some to me, we send back some to you. So if you think me is joking, you just slip myself in a deport. In our prisons, the rate of return in our prisons is over 40%. In other words, 40% of the persons in our prisons were there before. There's a fancy word for it, but I call it. Right, me can't pronounce it, so I won't try. If Jason Hensley had a 40% rate of return of his guests, Jakes would be making much more money. And they would upgrade the airport where I'm there and put Baba on the road. 40% of those in prison was there before. That means we are failing. That means when we let out a man out of prison, for every 10 persons we let out, 4 more are going to come back. Is it that we are failing, or the prison is so wonderful that they don't want to leave? And it's a combination of both. Because when you have a guy in Richmond prison, because I have to drive past Richmond every morning and drive past every evening, and I notice that the families stand up outside. If rain fall, they get wet. Sunshine, they get burned. And the person that them coming to look for is locked up in prison. Get a free bed, courtesy of the taxpayers. Get free bedding material, courtesy of the taxpayer. 3 meals that he don't have to prepare. He don't get in bed, bell ring, and he go eat breakfast. Go back, bell ring. He lives in a gated community with security. You think any prisoner worried that somebody will broke in a prison? As one place where no thief now go broken. So he not have nothing to worry about. Plus him have security guard paid for by the government. If he's sick, we can't go doctor. Buy him the medication, carry him back. If he cannot afford a lawyer, taxpayers give him a lawyer. Carry him to court, carry him back. He's not nothing to worry about. So why should he leave? Why should he leave? If he come to live in a community where the street light now work and the man will fix the light. The train clock up at the gate. Why should he leave prison? Think about it. So some of you, when you finish think about it, talk to Pernell and give us space. So we have increased the rehabilitation programs in our prisons. We have put in a new assessment form so as an inmate comes in. We have a new assessment form to check their mental and psychological state. And I have a simple rule. If a person is going to stay with me for more than 6 months and cannot read and write, I have a responsibility to ensure that that inmate learn to read and write when he leaves prison. We're also partnering with HEART to certify prisoners that they would have trained and imparted a skill. You see, we have to equip the prisoner with the skills to survive so they don't come back. If you lock up a man for 20 years, and when the 20 years up, you just pull the prison, let them out and lock the door and let him. If you have a bird in a cage for 2 years that you feed, you give water, you do everything, you're going to let them out now and expect him to survive. You have some prisoners that when they went into prison, it was Jolly Bus that was running. And when you let them out, the big nice yellow JUTC bus now that one card to swipe. Him don't know how to swipe card in a bus. So how he must survive? So we have to begin to impart the skills that he can survive and to be reintegrated. When I became minister, we found that petty criminal was being serving time with hardened criminal. Why is it that a pickpocket must be in the same cell with a double murder? Our prisons were crime universities. People go to prison to learn to commit crime. And therefore, Pernell has introduced the mentorship program, furniture making, food processing, and the We Transform in our state institution, where our young people in the homes owned by the state, in the last set of CXC exams, 70% of those who took the exam got 4 or more subjects at CXC. We have introduced chess into the prisons, because if you learn to play chess, you learn to think. And a lot of persons not thinking, man, step on your toe, you just lick it down. Not thinking. We have a hydroponic system in Spanish Town, donated by CASE, College of Agriculture, Science and Education, and they are on their second crop of vegetables. I have insisted as minister that the prisoners must produce at least 1 meal per week for themselves. And today, they are now at 2 meals per week. The taxpayers of Jamaica must get a break. I cannot have 3,500 hard-back man locked up in a prison, eat taxpayers' money, and now do nothing for it. I want them to know how hard our policemen have to work to get a little money. If the 1.5 were hardly run by the police, they still have to work hard for their money. So prisoners must contribute to them upkeep. And some people condemn me for it.
You're right.
Well, for their business that. But me know the taxpayers of Jamaica need a break. And therefore recently, we have electronically tagged, well, put on electronic bracelets. And then so electronically tagged and said that is the code. We have put on bracelets on 60 inmates, 30 at Tamarind Farm and 30 in Richmond. And we put them in some bright yellow suit. And when you see them now, they are picking up litter on the roadways in Spanish Town, Richmond and Highgate. We have constructed waiting areas for the families, because every family have one member of the family that you know so proud of. Floyd is the member in this family. As them say mental politics. Every family. So I have constructed waiting areas at Tamarind Farm and Richmond, so that when the families go to visit, there's a decent place to clear that they can wait in comfort while they wait to see the one that is in prison. We have restored the cell phone jammers in the prisons. Pernell went down there and they said there was no cell phone jammer because man make music in the prison. And what we discovered quickly, not never wrong with the jammers, they never plug in. So we plug them in. Simple. And since we plug them in, what we have discovered is that the prisoners have now broken the wireless code of businesses close by in downtown and Spanish Town. So we now have to be ordering wireless jammers. So if you think the prisoner doesn't have no sense in a prison, guess again. Inmate production of eggs and breakfast is up. So if you need eggs, we can sell you some. Talk to Pernell. He's the biggest egg farmer in Jamaica now. The deportation policy is being finalized. We are strengthening the emergency safety net to treat with deportees, and we're strengthening the capacity of the local authorities to mainstream immigration to plan for the new cities. The fifth pillar in our strategy is effective policing. And although the law gives the right to the Commissioner of Police to manage the force, the law was passed to take politics out of the operations of the force, and therefore it is the Commissioner of Police that have day-to-day responsibility for the police force. The Minister is responsible for policy mandate and to allocate resources to the force. In other words, the Minister cannot transfer a police officer, cannot promote a police officer, and cannot dismiss a police officer. So I beg you when we finish, do not come to me and tell me about your nephew and your cousin who are working 20 years and don't get no promotion. Because this minister cannot promote a police officer. And that is why now and again me and Cliffy catch up. Because when you have some, by the way, everybody cannot be promoted. Wrong or right? But if a man is deserving of a promotion, he must get it. And we must use subjectivity to give promotion. We must use objectivity for promotion. A man or a woman must get a promotion because they deserve the promotion. So like when Miss Lord got promoted from deputy to superintendent, she deserved her promotion. And she is working hard as a superintendent, so we know that her promotion was well deserved. But some people get promotion that, in my opinion, they don't deserve the promotion. And there are others out there working hard that don't get no promotion. Cliffy, now clap for that. Because truth be told, Mr. Chamber has a jurisdiction. And some of them are at liberty to say. You can understand. Alright, with regards to Mr. Bennett, Harold Bennett, we have taken your suggestion on board, sir. And Mrs. Beaumont Daly will look at the 5 pillars and see how we can fit the matter of domestic violence and more social intervention, and the question of the lack of attention being paid to rural communities. But that is not too bad an issue, because when you have MPs like Frank Winter and Floyd Green, who take a very active role in treating with the problems of their communities, I hear Floyd speaking about skills training in UL, and I know Frank is gearing up in Junction to treat with the backside, because the Chinese are about to unroll a major investment program in the aluminum industry. And I know Frank is lining up some people down there so that as much of the jobs can stay in that area, as well as much of the investment, but we're not ready yet to roll out the full act. With regards to Danny Knight, I'm going to ask Mr. Blake to address the vehicle thing. And Danny, where's Danny? Yes, sir. I said, notice you move from beside Miss Lord, and when she tell you to ask that question, but it's alright. From morning, Miss Lord has been talking about that vehicle in Newmarket. So when she whisper and tell you, you must say, but it's alright. With regards to Pepsi and community policing, Mr. Blake is going to deal with that, but Pepsi, I agree with you 101%. DC must stay in their district. DC must stay in their district. With regards to Mr. Wright and the penalties, indeed, Mr. Wright, we are moving to have some mandatory minimum sentences, and there is going to be an interesting piece of legislation introduced in Parliament, and a lot of people is going to squeal and howl and bawl. But I'm going to ask for the good people to support me, because when we make these initiatives, sometimes the good people just remain silent when some people start beat up. But stand by for that one, it is coming soon. So I'm going to ask Mr. Blake now to take on some of it.
Thank you, Minister. As Mr. Knight, I will ensure that Newmarket gets a vehicle. It may not get a new vehicle immediately, but I will guarantee you that it will get a vehicle to support the policing activities there, and it will get a new vehicle before the end of the year. You can hold it to that. And I am making my promise based on what the minister just whispered to me. And as Mr. Pepsi, I support the minister. We had a big discussion about it, and we're going to train some district councils, because both of us share your vision to that district councils must work within their community. When you take a stranger and put into a community, when doer notice desire to be served, they don't know who the people are. When someone desires to be served, they don't know who the people are. When warrants are to be executed, they don't know who the people are. So that's why it's critical that we put back district councillors in their community, in terms of information, so in terms of the whole social awareness. And we're working to ensure that they go back. As for regular police, it's a policy where we do not send them back into their communities. And this is the reason. We recognize conflict of interest in law enforcement. For example, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, no planting, and if you send back somebody to his work home and say, look here, your uncle is planting inside there, go and chop it up inside, that may pose a conflict of interest. Also, I can tell you, we have several police officers now, right across the island. When we send them back to their community, they are afraid to go and arrest some of the known and violent criminals, because they say, my children live here, my mother lives here, so if I go and arrest this man, then I become fearful that my family will be harmed inside them. So as a matter of policy, we do not send back these officers to their community in terms of law enforcement, but we take your point where district councils are concerned, and as much as it's practical, we put experienced officers, a mixture of new officers and experienced officers in these communities. But I'm fully 100% with you on the district council program.
All right, I see we have a full list. Just to, I think there are two issues. Sir White, in relation to Newell, we're in agreement. I think Jason, the chairman, we're in agreement. We have actually enhanced the skills training part of Newell. That is our focus. We brought back the CAP program, which is Career Advanced Program. We brought it back last year, and it's doing very well. And all of those CAP programs are focused on skill areas. I've heard you in relation to machinery, and that is something which, chairman, we can discuss, and we see how we can get it into the next budget. I think everybody knows that both high schools, Newell and Black River, I believe we have to raise the levels. We have to have the best high schools in the country. That is the reality, and it can be done, and it will be done. I think that was the only area for me to address. I hear we talking about DCs a lot, so let me say a special shout out to District Constable Samuels, who is one of those people who really work hard in his community minister. Very hard. Question?
Before the question, I hear the member of parliament speaking about Black River High School. But anybody here knew it when the name was Black River Secondary? Yes. You know a man out there named Mr. Edgerton Harris? Yes. What do you used to call him? Oscar. Do not call him, say, what's the uncle?
Why you ask them?
Yeah. He was my mother's brother, so I call him Oscar. God bless Oscar.
Thank you, Minister. All right. Lola.
Good day, Minister. Members of the head table. I'm Lola Marshall, and I have two quick suggestions. Minister Charles, when you are contacting Newell High tomorrow with the Cadet Corps, I implore you to also contact Magothy High, 997-2900. We have already trained a teacher to head the Cadet Corps. Another suggestion, Minister Montague, Inspector Lord, can you please reassign a traffic cop to the Lakovia Police Station? There is a stretch of road from Tombstone to Holland Bamboo, they call it the 1 mile air street. And the bikers are creating a nuisance on that road. I think a traffic cop would assist. Thank you.
Thank you, Lola.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Marshall.
Where is the member of parliament for Alakobe? And he told me I must send a message to you.
Minister asked where's the member of parliament for Alakobe. He said he was sending a message with you.
The member of parliament for St. Elizabeth Northwestern had an agricultural forum today and was detained by rain and so is unavoidably absent tonight. He was actually in the Newmarket division, Mr. Net. He was in the Newmarket division earlier today.
Alright. But the message has now been delivered. Thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honorable ministers of the room. This is Bruce Rodney. I'm here on a mission where crime is concerned in this country and where the nation is going and where it is at this present moment. This nation in crime situation, the nation is not part of curse. The crime takes place in the mind of the people. And until the curse is lifted, you will before you find a turnaround where it is concerned. The nation has backslidden from God. The people, the Lord God said it has broken his covenant. He has backslidden from his precepts, gone from his ordinances. They commit his spirit offering and they honor him. Honorable Minister, with the best effort that you can put forth in fighting crime, you won't succeed until the curse is lifted. In 2006-2007, when the nation was wrapped up in crime, the nation prayed, churches, schools, community centers, everybody went on to pray before God. The Lord God gave an answer when he said to the former Minister of Finance, Omar Davis. He was doing something which was transgressing God. When he imposed tax on the churches and the pastors, according to Ezra chapter 7, it would bring the wrath of God upon the nation. He proceeded to do it. The nation cried out. Let me go fast. This is what God said. This is my response to prayer of people. And I pray about the crime and killing face in the country. So my people are praying and they cry out, come up for me. He said, withdraw now thy hand from the church. My precepts change it now. But my people are praying and they cry out, come up for me. This is how done. You have squandered that which was given to the government and has turned and covered that which is offered unto me, God. But nobody can pay tax, so why charge me God? But he gave a number. When I went to him, he didn't come to me. He did give no ear. Yes, the solution now. What I'm saying now, the crime is taking place in according to court. I'm going to use some scriptures and then I'm going to 1 Samuel chapter 2.
No.
The solution that God requires is the solution that God requires. Save and answer. See, it was about the tithe and offering. Save and answer to the old time harvest. 2 naked statues must be taken down. As they stand there as a symbol of lewdness, immorality, nakedness, and poverty. The pastors who put up church and use the money as a business to seek their action and work according to God's will. The people that take themselves into preaching is abomination before God. Minister, I would like to meet with you, please. Yes. I would like to meet with you.
Yes. I remember in the talk. Alright. Thank you, Bruce. Latoya.
My name is Donovan Knuckle, a taxi operator. This one is related to the congestion in the town, more to the mayor. We want to find out if there is any immediate plans to go back to the larger park in Black River anytime soon, because the congestion in the town with the taxis on the street, we need to get them under some regulation as a taxi operator. So we want to find out from the municipal comes if there's any immediate plans to get back that car up and running soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good night. My name is Dem Chamoni from Spice School, right? Honorable Minister and all officials. My suggestion is this. The crime, that's not the main thing I'm talking about. So we used to have hanging and that already abolished, right? But enough of them have no money. Why when we get them red-handed? They should allow to just execute them. Enough of them money, we really deserve the order street. Yeah, that's what I say I'm trying. Now the next point is, some of them have been locked up and those school children, some of them leave school like from midday and at 5 o'clock them still light around, right? You know, there was a lot like that, and a lot of officers is out there unknown. So what, something can be done about that? You know, and I go on, the officers, they know that they create a lot of problem. So they should go home, right? Alright, next thing, my member of parliament. Mr. Samsa, Mr. Verman, Johnson, he died yesterday, right? Yeah, no. So, you know he produced a lot of votes, right? So, I tell you, you have to go and see. Now, my member of parliament, the next thing, we don't demonstrate, right? And you know you're voting, you're waiting. So, that's what I got to say. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night. My name is Adeni Buffy. I have a small question. My thing is, in his presentation, the minister mentioned that over 40% of the people in prison are repeat offenders, right? And my question is, why don't we as the public know these people? We don't have a database of these people's names and faces. We don't know when they're being released from prison. We don't know what a lot of their offenses are. You understand me? There was a case a couple years ago where a little girl was raped and strangled and buried, right? Because of circumstances, she didn't die during that attack. And her attacker was given like something like 10 to 12 years. And this was like probably about 5-7 years ago. This man is almost out of prison, and I don't think anybody in this room knows him by name or face, and he will be joining us in the public space in another 5 to 10 years, and the next person that he attacks, he might actually go and kill them, he might successfully kill them. Why is it that we don't have a database to know who convicted murderers are, who convicted rapists are, who these people are? Because at least it's my belief that after you commit an act like that and you're convicted for it, that you have given up your right to privacy. We as people, we should know who these people are. Because one could be a rapist or a murderer could be released tomorrow. We don't know who they are. You understand? So that is my
good point. Good point.
Brother Bumpy, I'm going to start with you. Everybody is protected under our Constitution. And having paid your debt to society, you have paid your debt to society. However, for sex offenders, there is a sex offenders registry. So people with rape or any sex-related crime, there's a registry and the person still has to report even when they leave, and there's a notification. But there is a sex offenders registry. However, even that, you still have to protect certain rights of a person. A man having paid his debt to society, you can't continually punish him for the rest of his life. Brother Bruce will tell you that the good book preach forgiveness. So there is a sex offenders registry, but for other crimes, there is none. With regards to Brother Mullins, hanging is not abolished. It is still on the books. But there's nobody on death row. But anytime the court send a man on death row and I am minister, the day the judge dropped the say, hanging by his neck, I am willing to sign the execution warrant and deliver it to Spanish Town myself. So it is still on the book. With regards to children curfew, we spoke about it earlier, and I know Ms. Lord took a note. There should be no reason why a child must be on the road after 9 a.m. without being in the company of their parents. 9 p.m. And if after 10 o'clock they out to their parents, the parents should be explaining to the police why. Because a child ought not to be on the street at those hours. Brother Buckley, the mayor will soon answer you on that one. And Brother Rodney going to write me a letter. Brother Bruce Rodney going to do a letter for me. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Minister. Yes, Lord, in regards to the bus park, there were some, let us call them legal issues, for want of a better description, which I inherited. We have just know about almost sorted out those issues, because you know the history of the park when it was used as a temporary market and so on before my time. And in short order, the committee, there's a committee in the council which deals with that sort of matter commercial. We will take a decision whether we are going to operate it ourselves or whether the wish is to lease it back out to an operator to operate. But we have almost now gotten over the issues that I inherited and really are ready to move forward. Them sure, yes, I know about Mr. Johnson, and by now, weekend, hopefully I'll go through for ruin and the family around there. Alright?
Alright, thank you, Mayor. I think we have had a wonderful evening. Demsha, I hear you. We did some work, and we have some more to do. Right? But I really want to give my own. I see one, and only because it's you, Dr. Bamidele. Only because it's you. We will take one final question, and then we will move.
Thank you very much, MP. Minister Montgomery, let me first thank you for coming to Black River. This is the town of my birth. Although I speak like a Jamaican now, since I've been here for 19 years. And I must also thank Clifford Blake. I also work with the police force at the Police Combat Center. When Mr. Blake gave you his commitment that New Market is going to get the vehicle, I think he will always follow his commitment. He gave us an ambulance at the Combat Center that the police services have been using for quite some time. That ambulance was in work for almost about 2 or 3 years, until one day when he came to the police services, Police Combat Center there, he said it's going to be done, and he was able to deliver on time. So my friends and colleagues from New Market, I'm sure you're going to get him very good. If he doesn't give you, I know how to get in touch with him. Now, there are some serious crimes that have been going on within Black River area, and I don't want to mention names of those areas. And I think I want to commend the police officers in Black River who have been doing a tremendous job in the areas that are affected by these criminal elements. We need some social intervention programs. I don't know whether it's within the minister's responsibility to declare a limited zone of special operation for these communities, because we are not quite used to this criminality that is going on within our government here. I would really want to keep Black River as sterile as possible. So I'm begging you, sir, under the powers of power, you understand, you can make such a determination on where the zone can be by law. Again, security is a kind of multidisciplinary approach where the mayor, the MP, and all the stakeholders have to collaborate. There are buildings here in Black River river that was destroyed by fire. And at that point, I really wanted to recognize one of our lady who is here, Mrs. Bunny's right. I think I introduced him to her BobArtsTV daughter in Black River. Some of these born buildings are really a nuisance to the community. They become an haven for criminality, and as such, we employ you and beg the political directorate to see what you can do to assist in either demolishing some of these buildings or by special powers from far away to see what can be done to assist her and to assist other buildings of like manner. The hospital, a lot of nurses are in hospital and not here. I think I saw some of them here. Buildings that people who invested in these buildings are not occupying. And I think some of those buildings is in Spain, Luana area that our security officers live. People invest in these buildings. They buy it when it's cheap. They keep it for umpteen number of years. The property have appreciated, but they don't keep it clean. And again, that becomes an area where criminality can grow. Is there legislation in place that the mayor can assist us to make sure some of these buildings by the law are either cut down or employ people in the private country to cut them down?
My Jamaican brother.
Thank you very much.
I like your Jamaican accent. To address some of your problems, there can be no limited zones of operation. It's either a zone or not a zone. And we as the policymakers, we can't declare that's to be on the recommendation of both the army and the police. Secondly, the fire buildings that are burned and left, that's the responsibility of the parish council. We have to serve notice on the owners, and after a certain time has expired, the parish council can move to take down the buildings and lodge a caveat against the title of the premises to recover the funds that the council would have spent. That's a matter that the mayor, I'm sure, will have to address. But I also would like to thank the representatives from the Department of Correctional Service, DCS. Where are the DCS persons? They gone? The people from PIGA, Passport Immigration. Good. Anybody here from PSRA? Good. So I think at this time, from our side, which is 9 o'clock, we have to say thank you.
Yes, we have to talk to the minister after we've closed. Don't worry, he will give you a listening ear. But we have detained a number of people who traveled long and far to be here, so you would understand. So we'll speak, Minister will speak to you after. All right, so I will ask Mr. Bennett from the Black River Development Committee, the president of the Black River Development Committee, to come for us to move the vote of thanks. I would really like, as he makes his way, to say my heartfelt thank you to the ministry team for coming down here, for coming down here and making this possible. But for the formal thank you, give him a round of applause. He's the chairman of the Black River Development.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Floyd Green, Minister Montague, Junior Minister, Minister of State, Mr. Charles, Mayor, His Worship, we, the members of the Black River community, are really grateful for you coming out and having this consultative process, taking the policy directly to the people. And it's very important that as community members that we recognize our role, the role of community members in building the state Jamaica. And I know many of us have had many concerns when we came here. I'm sure that based on the presentations, we have been uplifted, we have been energized, and we have truly felt that we are part of building the type of Jamaica to live, to do business, and most importantly, to raise our families. And it's important that the Ministry of National Security has come and really present these policies. And we really want to say thank you to all the members of the team, to include those of the Jamaica Information Service and all the other media houses that are here. We really want to say thank you for coming, and we really hope that as a community, as participants in the building of Jamaica, that together we will share the ideas that Jamaica is not just a place where we exist. Jamaica is a place where we seek to own. This little spot, Jamaica, we own it. And when we know and recognize the fact that we own Jamaica, we are Jamaicans, then we will take steps to protect Jamaica and serve Jamaica, our country. And we really want to say thank you for coming out, the members of the Black River community as well too. And we thank you for your very attentive ears. We thank you for your robust participation, and we hope that we continue together to build the Jamaica that we all love. I leave you with a quote from the great Martin Luther, that until we recognize the codependence of our human existence, then we will never ever achieve true greatness. I need you, you need me. Thank you very much, Minister.
Let me thank you all for coming out. I know when we saw the weather we wondered, but Minister, you know the people of St. Elizabeth never fail to come out to participate in discussions about the country and about their area. Thank you again. There are light refreshments over by the hotel for those of you who want to refresh yourself before you travel to your respective homes. Please get home safe. God bless you. Peace and prosperity.
Which I find to be the greatest message of my life. So I am right now only here because of this case. And this case only is what holding me here.
I'm so sorry to hear about this, because we really do need our return residents to come back and they can
this one is out.
And live safely in the environment. But she's beside here, and we are going to give it the highest amount of attention. I want to assure you of that.
And let me add my own apologies, Mr. Morrison. And I'm sure now you're sitting behind the person in charge of Black River now. New, but she has really come in firing. And we will deal with it. We don't, especially if you are a resident of Southwest, we don't want you to go. What we want you to do is to stay, and we have to make it comfortable so you can get your voter's ID. We'll talk after they're empty. Let me also, well, Minister, you may have missed one of the things that Jason said that I want to highlight. There was a time that we had a facility down here that was part of the training. A very good facility. I think we should have some discussions. I believe our facility produced some of the finest officers, and especially as you are up in the numbers, I would love to see the facility return to this neck of the woods, because we have a lot of very bright young people who want to go into the police force and sometimes have it difficult, so we can work on that. Let me welcome Mr. Andrew Winter. Where is Sir Winter? Stand, Sir Winter, so everybody can see you. He's the head of PICA. He's the man who has promised me that PICA will come back to Black River. We're going to get it before December, Mr. Winter?
It is our wish.
It is your wish. Yes, you come the right time. You think the MP never put you on the spot? Don't worry, PICA is coming back to Black River, right? We all know, unfortunately, left like a thief in the night. But I spoke to the goodly minister, and we have worked with PICA. I think they've identified a location which is more suitable, and they are in the process of returning to Black River. We're open for questions. Oh, sorry. There's a matter. Colonel, allow Minister Charles to speak in relation to the cadet.
Good night. Just to say that in relation to the cadet, of course, I agree. 74 years ago to this month, the Jamaican Combined Cadet Force was established by Major Decar. And so, for November, we actually are celebrating Founders Month. And we are on a drive to advance recruiting across the country. We've been doing it for the year, and we have 10 schools that have been identified as new cadet units to add to the 68 before. We have a little over 2,000 cadets and a little under 250 adult officers. What we need in order to reach the goal of expanding cadet units across the country, in addition to increased funding, is for adult volunteers to step up and to offer their time to be trained as officers so that they in turn can be in the position to train up the cadets. For us to expand the cadet units across the schools, we need teachers to step up and to be trained as officers. And so even this morning, we were out there advertising and saying to persons, we're making a call. Later on this month, we have 60 adults that will be commencing training. And we are boosting our ability to be able to train more adult officers. Because if we intend to expand the cadet units, we need more adult officers. We also have made a decision to revise the code of ethics within the cadets. So we have a book that is being printed for all cadet officers and adults. And just this week, discussed with the minister that we're looking at focusing the cadets not only on the youth that are in school, but those youth that we define as delinquent, the high school dropouts, or the ones who are kicked out. We are creating a facility for us to start with 50 and for them to get an opportunity to be able to go through a 48-week program where they'll be introduced to the principles and values and the systems of paramilitary training that the cadet offer. For it to be a continuum so that once you come in and you are engaged in the cadet force, you are now transitioning into either the National Service Corps, the whole program, or some other facility, so that we're not just training you and leaving you, but we're offering you engagement and then the necessary support. And so we are tying also a lot of those activities with CSJB, and we've met with CSJB to have the discussion. Yes, so that we can have those at-risk youth. In relation to UL, as soon as tomorrow morning, we can call the principal and give the necessary support that is required, because we want cadet units across the country. So if we can meet afterwards, definitely we can have UL added to the list, and we'll ask for you to be one of the persons who can assist us as a new adult officer in training, or to identify at least some who can assist, so that when UL becomes the new cadet unit on the list, we can also have the additional adult officers to assist them.
Thank you, Minister Charles. The issue with Hartman is a long-standing problem. There were a number of programs that did not provide a stipend. We have actually, as Member of Parliament, I have started 2 programs, one at Newell High School and one at Middle Quarters, where the youngsters get a stipend to go. Prior to, they only have to treat with a couple weeks when it just starts, and then going forward they get a stipend to go. So what I would suggest, if you know any youngsters out of school, and we're offering plumbing, welding, data processing, and housekeeping, have them visit my office in Black River, and we can sign them up. The program just started this week, so it wouldn't be too late, especially for you, and it just started this week. and they get a stipend. So it is a bit costly, but as like you, I agree, we have to do it. That is the reality, we have to do it. So thanks for raising it. I see we have a line of questions. We'll take about 3 and then.
Good night, Minister and Member of Parliament. I have a concern.
Just tell us your name, man.
My name is Errol Bennett, Black River Community Development Committee. I have a concern in terms of crime. A significant number of the crime seems to occur between persons who know each other, family members. And it brings to the point that we are unable as a society to handle disputes effectively. I know that there is a social element incorporated in the pillars. And I would suggest that as a part of the way forward in dealing with crime, that we find ways of teaching our children and community members to handle dispute effectively, to learn how to reason out issues, and that they do not escalate into these big problems. Too often we find two persons watching TV, and one wants to watch a particular program, the other wants to watch news, and we find that one ends up dead. And we as a society have to find a way to incorporate, whether through the various programs or the arms of the state, to help the society to learn, to reason out issues more. And we want to find a way to incorporate this. I hope that it can be incorporated within the pillars. Additionally, there's also my concern that rural communities are not given enough attention in the development of our country. And what we find is that the issues that are ignored in rural communities end up to become some of the monsters in the corporate area. And of known significance is that a lot of the persons who end up in Kingston as these notorious gunmen or Montego Bay really come from deep rural communities that lack development and support. So as a part of the way forward, I really suggest that those two aspects are there.
Thank you.
Pleasant good night. My name is Danny Knight. As a bus operator. This one's straight to the Minister. Minister, we have asked you please first, you need a vehicle at Newmarket Police Station. There's a national disgrace, no vehicle up there. That's a fact man of the head of the police. Even when they think a man got out at Warren. We don't know MP or whatsoever. Look like you have to come to one by election. And you mark it.
I'm a candidate for it.
Sir?
I'm a candidate for it.
You're a candidate for it? Sure. Who's one of the said, you need the vehicle. We have none up there, none whatsoever. Don't make nobody tell me no, we live up there. I have about 120,000 people live up there, and no, it's a national disgrace, no vehicle up a police station. And second again, they give the police them safety car, they have to get rid of it. It become a problem in Jamaica. Thank you. No.
All right. Next.
Good night, Mr. Minister. Good night to MP. Mr. Minister, I believe that what the police force lack in these days right now is community policing. If my words don't come out like other people, though, or you understand. I have the privilege of being grown up in a police home. I know what it is like when I step out of a boat and come back and can buy a very good police money. I respect police. But what the police force is like is police community. Policing. When I was small, when I called TV in my ear, everybody know who to go look for. When I shot break, you know who to go look for. I have to find out what him did there last night. The DC know everybody. You can't take a policeman from training school to come from Kingston. He can't come and send him there. Send him to Spring Park and look for one man. He don't know who. Don't make no sense. If you take a man from Spring Park, send him to a police training school. Send him back to Black River. One man, you want a man, you want Basil Miller from Crawford. He know exactly who Pepsi is. And who Coloca. The outer here man can't be. Next thing, sir. There are certain places, I won't call it, but there are certain places which have been abandoned for years, government building, which can put police posts in some place where they call hotspot, or because they never know how to be where I can't call hotspot. Browntown, no one knows the Browntown can't call hotspot. Yes, sir? And they are building where they're up there for years, government building, nobody is in it, they can't call police posts. Nobody never find no shop and no police at Browntown. Browntown might go on with them things, but they still respect police, and police in Nigeria, a lot of things that happen in the area will have occurred. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, man. Sir White.
Yes, my brother. Minister Adams, Rex White from Yoel. This is man. As you have mentioned in your opening speech about crime, crime, as we all know, is frightening. And you mentioned that frightening part of it. It makes us want to hide, make us sick. Now, inside here, I have 3 ministers, or 3 MPs, so to speak. As a small voice, it will not be heard. I cannot get to Parliament to make my voice heard. So I'm saying to all of you who are here this afternoon, what can you as a member of Parliament bring to Parliament? A bill that will bring deterrent through stiff penalty. As I mentioned to you not too long ago about the penalties that are in the 1950-60 cannot be the penalty of today's crime and violence. We have to look, how can we increase when a woman is raped? A man is sentenced to 5 years. When a person dies, go 10 years, 3 years. And as you have mentioned, we have to look at how do we look at the data, which that is part of the whole matter that we have to look at. How can you and your ministers in Parliament pass a law increasing the penalty that will deter crime? The next part of it is not insecurity, but part of which creates a problem with security. And I'm going to touch my very good friend and MP, Mr. Green. Mr. Green has mentioned about the cadet. Yes, cadet is very good. It entails discipline. I've been to not a man run or what you might call it. But anyway, the fact of the matter, we cannot just look at discipline training as a part of the way to go only. We have to recognize that UL is not an institution for high learning. How do we improve that situation? We have to come in with career training, such as a plumber. You name all the careers. I spent 5 years here, and that discipline from my grandparents and in a business home, I was able to move forward. But what we need to look at, can we bring training such as we need truck drivers, we need carpenters, we need mechanics, we need machinists. In 1973, when I went to US school, there was 1 late. In an industrialized world that we live in now, not one machine is at the way. Can we improve our standard of getting people to learn a skill? That is for you.
This one. Minister, come here. Yeah, and I will answer. We'll take this one, I will answer and open again.
Okay, my name is Fabian Lewis, and I sit on the National Board of RAD. Now, first of all, Minister, I'm from Southeast again. You love it, job. Thank you for that one. But tell me something, Minister. We take police officers from England and we bring them into the country and they are here, right? I won't pass a grade on whether they are effective or not. But England is a first world country that is peaceful, right, in comparison to us. Now you have one of the most efficient killing machines and most efficient investigative set of persons there, right? The Mossad out of Israel. Those guys know how to fight guerrilla warfare, which we are experiencing in this country. You have another group, the Colombians. They have been fighting a civil war against the far like from God knows when. I think it was last year that they were forced into a peace treaty. Why are we not taking officers from these countries who actually know how to deal with the type of criminals that we have in Jamaica? These are the places that we need to go if we need help. If you're going to talk about getting criminal, you can't go to England and America. These are relatively peaceful countries. We need people who are experienced in fighting guerrilla warfare to come help out our police officers. Because as much as we would like to say our police officers are top notch, they are in no position to fight these guys out here. But you're going to send one of these police officers, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but why are you going to send one of these police officers that we have out here against guys who sit down and watch documentary on some of the greatest criminal organizations? They do their research and they understand how to efficiently kill people. How are you going to send our police officers them to deal with those guys? You need people who know how to efficiently take out the type of criminal that we have out here. You understand? And for Christ's sake, stop taking these people from peaceful country. It's not going to help us. They don't understand. They have to come here and learn how our criminals stay. We need people who can actually hit the ground running immediately. And we have bilateral arrangement with all of these people, get their expertise into this country. Secondly, I heard you made mention of surveillance again. I assume that is not the drone type, it's the normal bit. Now, Minister, the Americans and the British, which we say they are our friends, they have highly developed drone programs. If we can get one of those drones, one man can sit in upper camp and be circling around the entire island, taking live footage. Because that's how the Americans take out the Taliban. The one man sitting in back room and they are watching what is going on over the entire country 3-4 times the size of Jamaica. Why is it that we don't ask our friends to get us one of those things? Because we have a large space, you have 2 boats. The surveillance plane is going to follow the boats. What happens when the boats then come into that? The plane come into that? We need something that is constantly circling around the island.
Alright, with regards to Mr. Bennett, Harold Bennett, we have taken your suggestion on board, sir. And Mrs. Beaumont Daly will look at the 5 pillars and see how we can fit the matter of domestic violence and more social intervention and the question of the lack of attention being paid to rural communities. But that is not bad an issue, because when you have MPs like Frank Winter and Floyd Green who take a very active role in treating with the problems of their communities. I hear Floyd speaking about skills training in UL, and I know Frank is gearing up in Junction to treat with the backside because the Chinese are about to unroll a major investment program in the aluminum industry. And I know Frank is lining up some people down there so that as much of the jobs can stay in that area, as well as much of the investment, but we're not ready yet to roll out the full action. With regards to Danny Knight, I'm going to ask Mr. Blake to address the vehicle thing. And Danny, where's Danny? Yes, sir. I said, notice you move from beside this Lord, and when she tell you, they ask that question, but it's all right. From morning, Mr. Lord has been talking about that vehicle in Newmarket. So we know she whisper and tell you must say, but it's all right. With regards to Pepsi and community policing, Mr. Blake is going to deal with that, but Pepsi, I agree with you 101%. DC must stay in their district. DC must stay in their district. With regards to Mr. Wright and the penalties, indeed, Mr. Wright, we are moving to have some mandatory minimum sentences, and there is going to be an interesting piece of legislation introduced in Parliament. And a lot of people is going to squeal and howl and bawl. But I'm going to ask for the good people to support me, because when we make these initiatives, sometimes the good people just remain silent when some people start beat up. But stand by for that one, it is coming soon. So I'm going to ask Mr. Blake now to take on some of it.
Thank you, Minister. As Mr. Knight, I will ensure that Newmarket gets a vehicle. It may not get a new vehicle immediately, but I will guarantee you that it will get a vehicle to support the policing activities there, and it will get a new vehicle before the end of the year. You can hold to that. And I am making my promise based on what the minister just whispered to me. And as for Mr. Pepsi, I support the minister. We had a big discussion about it, and we're going to train some district councils, because both of us share your vision to that district councils must work within their community. When you take a stranger and put into the community, when doer notices are to be served, they don't know who the people are. When summons are to be served, they don't know who the people are. When warrants are to be executed, they don't know who the people are. So that's why it's critical that we put back district councillors in their community, in terms of information, so in terms of the whole social awareness. We are working to ensure that they go back. As for regular police, it's a policy where we do not send them back into their communities. And this is the reason. We recognize conflict of interest in law enforcement. For example, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, North Atlantic, and if you send back somebody to his home and say, look here, your uncle is planting that inside there, go and chop it up inside, that may pose a conflict of interest. Also, I can tell you, we have several police officers now, right across the island. When we send them back to their community, they are afraid to go and arrest some of the known and violent criminals, because they say, my children live here, my mother lives here, so if I go and arrest this man, then I become fearful that my family will be harmed inside them. So as a matter of policy, we do not send back these officers to their community in terms of law enforcement, but we take your point where district councils are concerned, and as much as it's practical, we put experienced officers, a mixture of new officers and experienced officers in these communities. But I'm fully 100% with you on the district council program.
All right. I see we have a full list. Just to, I think there are two issues. Sir White, in relation to Newell, we're in agreement. I think Jason, the chairman, we're in agreement. We have actually enhanced the skills training part of Newell. That is our focus. We brought back the CAP program, which is Career Advanced program. We brought it back last year and it's doing very well. And all of those CAP programs are focused on skill areas. I've heard you in relation to machinery, and that is something which, Chairman, we can discuss and we'll see how we can get it into the next budget. I think everybody knows that both high schools, Newell and Black River, I believe we have to raise the levels. We have to have the best high schools in the country. That is the reality, and it can be done, and it will be done. I think that was the only area for me to address. I hear we talking about DCs a lot, so let me say a special shout out to District Constable Samuels, who is one of those people who really work hard in his community ministry. Very hard. Question?
Before the question, I heard the member of parliament speaking about Black River High School. But anybody here knew it when the name was Black River Secondary? You know a man up there named Mr. Edgerton Harris? What do you used to call him? Do not call him, they was my uncle.
Why you ask them?
He was my mother's brother, so don't call him Muslim. God bless Muslim.
Back to Minister. All right. Lola.
Good day, Minister, members of the head table. I'm Lola Marshall, and I have two quick suggestions. Minister Charles, when you are contacting Newell High tomorrow with the Cadet Corps, I implore you to also contact Magothy High, 997-2900. We have already trained a teacher to head the Cadet Corps. Another suggestion, Mr. Montague, Inspector Lord, can you please reassign a traffic cop to the Lacovia Police Station? There is a stretcher road from Tombstone to Holland Bamboo, they call it the 1 mile air street. And the bikers are creating a nuisance on that road. I think a traffic cop would assist. Thank you.
Thank you, Lola.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Where is the member of parliament for Lacovia? I told me I must send a message to you.
Minister asked where's the member of parliament for Lacovia. He said he was sending a message to you.
The member of parliament for St. Elizabeth Northwestern had an agricultural forum today and was detained by rain, and so is unavoidable absent tonight. He was actually in the Newmarket division, Mr. Net.
What?
He was in the Newmarket division earlier today.
All right. But the message has now been delivered. Thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honorable ministers of the room. This is Bruce Rodney. I'm here on a mission where crime is concerned in this country and where the nation is going and where it is at this present moment. This nation in crime situation, the nation is not part of curse. The crime takes place in the mind of the people. And until the curse is lifted, you will before you find that turn around where it is concerned. The nation has backslidden from God. The people, the Lord God said it has broken his covenant. He has backslidden from his precepts, gone from his ordinances. They committed spirit offering and they honor him. Honorable Minister, with the best effort that you can put forth in fighting crime, you won't succeed until the curse is lifted. In 2006-2007, when the nation was wrapped up in crime, the nation prayed, churches, schools, community centers, everybody went on to pray before God. The Lord God gave an answer when he said to the former Minister of Finance, Omar Davis. He was doing something which was transgressing God. When we impose tax on the churches and the pastors, according to Ezra chapter 7, it would bring the wrath of God upon the nation. He proceeded to do it. The nation cried out. Let me go fast. This is what God said. This is my response to the prayer of my people. And I pray about the crime and iniquities in the countries. But my people are praying and they cry out, come up for me. He said, withdraw now thy hand from the church. My precepts change it not. But my people are praying and they cry out, come up for me. This is how done. You have squandered that which was given to the government and has turned and covered that which was offered unto me, God. But nobody can pay tax, so why charge me God? God gives a number. When I went to him, he didn't come to me. He did give no ear. Yes, the sun is out now. What I'm saying now? The crime is taking place in according to court. I'm going to use some scriptures and then I'm going to do. 1 Samuel chapter 2. No. The solution that God requires is the solution that God requires. Save and answer. See, it was about the tithe and offering. Save and answer to the old time harvest. 2 naked statues must be taken down. As they stand there as a symbol of lewdness, immorality, nakedness, and poverty. The pastors who put up church and use the money as business to seek their action and work according to God's will. The people that take themselves into preaching is abomination before God. Minister, I would like to meet with you, please. Yes. I would like to meet with you.
Yes. I remember in the talk. All right. Thank you, Bruce. Latoya.
My name is Donovan Knuckle, a taxi operator. This one is related to the congestion in the town, more to the mayor. We want to find out if there is any immediate plans to go back to the larger park in Black River anytime soon, because the congestion in the town with the taxis on the street, we need to get them under some regulation as a taxi operator. So we want to find out from the municipal council if there's any immediate plans to get back that park up and running soon.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Good night. My name is Dem Chamoni from Spiceville, right? Honorable Minister and all officials. My suggestion is this. The crime, that's not the main thing we have to talk about. So we used to have hanging and that already abolished, right? But enough of them have no money. Why when we get them red-handed? They should allow to just execute them. Enough of them money, we really deserve the outer street. Okay, that's what I have to say on crime. Now the next point is, some of them have been locked up and those school children. Some of them leave school like from midday and 5 o'clock them still later on, right? You know, there was a lot like that, and a lot of officers is out there unknown. So what, something can be done about that? You know, I go on, the officers, they know that they create a lot of problem. So they should go home, right? Alright, next thing, my member of parliament. Mr. Santa, Mr. Verman, Johnson, he died yesterday, right? Yeah, no. So, you know he produced a lot of votes, right? So, I tell you, you have to go and see. Now, my member of parliament, the next thing, we don't demonstrate, right? And you know you're voting, you're waiting. So, that's what I got to say. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night. My name is Adit Bope. I have a a small question. My thing is, in his presentation, the minister mentioned that over 40% of the people in prison are repeat offenders, right? And my question is, why don't we as the public know these people? We don't have a database of these people's names and faces. We don't know when they're being released from prison. We don't know what a lot of their offenses are. You understand me? There was a case a couple years ago where a little girl was raped and strangled and buried, right? Because of circumstances, she didn't die during that attack. And her attacker was given like something like 10 to 12 years. And this was like probably about 5-7 years ago. This man is almost out of prison, and I don't think anybody in this room knows him by name or face, and he will be joining us in the public space in another 5 to 10 years, and the next person that he attacks, he might actually go and kill them, he might successfully kill them. Why is it that we don't have a database to know who convicted murderers are, who convicted rapists are, who these people are? Because it's my belief that after you commit an act like that and you're convicted for it, that you have given up your right to privacy. We as people, we should know who these people are. Because one could be a rapist or a murderer could be released tomorrow. We don't know who they are. You understand? So that is my
good point. Good point. Brother Buckley, I'm going to start with you. Everybody is protected under our Constitution. And having paid your debt to society, you have paid your debt to society. However, for sex offenders, there is a sex offenders registry. So people with rape or any sex-related crime, there's a registry and the person still has to report even when they leave, and there's a notification. But there is a sex offenders registry. However, even that, you still have to protect certain rights of a person. A man having paid his debt to society, you can't continually punish him for the rest of his life. Brother Bruce will tell you that the good book preach forgiveness. So there is a sex offenders registry, but for other crimes, there is none. With regards to Brother Mullins, hanging is not abolished. It is still on the books. But there's nobody on death row. But anytime the court send a man on death row and I am minister, the day the judge dropped me say, hanging by his neck, I am willing to sign the execution warrant and deliver it to Spanish Town myself. So it is still on the book. With regards to children curfew, we spoke about it earlier, and I know Ms. Lord took a note. There should be no reason why a child must be on the road after 9 a.m. without being in the company of their parents. 9 p.m. And if after 10 o'clock they out to their parents, the parents should be explaining to the police why. Because a child ought not to be on the street at those hours. Brother Buckley, the mayor will soon answer you on that one. And Brother Rodney going to write me a letter. Brother Bruce Rodney going to do a letter for me. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Minister. Yes, Lord, in regards to the bus park, there were some, let us call them legal issues, for want of a better description, which I inherited. We have just know about almost sorted out those issues, because you know the history of the park when it was used as a temporary market and so on before my time. And in short order, the committee, there's a committee in the council which deals with that sort of matter commercial. We will take a decision whether we are going to operate it ourselves or whether the wish is to lease it back out to an operator to operate. But we have almost now gotten over the issues that I inherited and really are ready to move forward. Dempsure, yes, I know about Mr. Johnson, and by now, weekend hopefully I'll go to the Peru and the family around there. Alright?
All right, thank you, Mayor. I think we have had a wonderful evening. Demsha, I hear you. You know, we did some work, and we have some more to do, right? But I really want to give my own. I see one, and only because it's you, Dr. Bamidele. Only because it's you. We will take one final question, and then we will move to close.
Thank you very much, Henry. Minister Montague, let me first thank you for coming to Black River. This is the town of my birth. Although I speak like a Jamaican now, since I've been here for 19 years. I must also thank Clifford Blake. I also work with the police force at the Police Combat Center. When Mr. Blake gave me this commitment that New Market is going to get the vehicle, I think he will always follow his commitment. He gave us an ambulance at the Combat Center that the police services have been using for quite some time. That ambulance was in work for almost about 2 or 3 years, until one day when he came to the police service, Police Combat Center there, he said it's going to be done, and he was able to deliver on time. So my friends and colleagues from New Market, I'm sure you're going to get him there. If he doesn't give you, I know how to get in touch with him. Now, there are some serious crimes that has been going on within Black River area, and I don't want to mention names of those areas. And I think I want to commend the police officers in Black River who have been doing a tremendous job in the areas that are affected by these criminal elements. We need some social intervention programs. I don't know whether it's within the minister's responsibility to declare a limited zone of special operation for these communities, because we are not quite used to this criminality that is going on within our domain here. I would really want to keep Black River as sterile as possible. So I'm begging you, sir, under the powers conferred on you, I understand you can make such a determination on where the zone can be by law. Again, security is a kind of multidisciplinary approach where the mayor, the MP, and all the stakeholders have to collaborate. There are buildings here in Black River that are destroyed by fire. And at that point, I really wanted to recognize one of our lady who is here, Mrs. Bunny's right. I think I introduced him to her popularized daughter in Black River. Some of these born buildings are really a nuisance to the community. They become an haven for criminality, and as such, we employ you and beg the political directorate to see what you can do to assist in either demolishing some of these buildings or by special powers conferred on him to see what can be done to assist her and to assist other buildings of like manner. The hospital, a lot of nurses at the hospital are not here. I think I saw some of them here. Buildings that people who invested in these buildings are not occupying. And I think some of those buildings is in Spain, Luana area that our security officers live. They buy, people invest in these buildings. They buy it when it's cheap. They keep it for umpteen number of years. The property have appreciated, but they don't keep it clean. And again, that becomes an area where criminality can grow. Is there a legislation in place that the mayor can assist us to make sure some of these buildings by law are either cut down or employ people in the private country to cut them down?
My Jamaican brother.
Thank you very much.
I like your Jamaican accent. To address some of your problems, there can be no limited zones of operation. It's either a zone or not a zone. And we as the policymakers, we can't declare that's to be on the recommendation of both the army and the police. Secondly, the fire buildings that are burned and left, that's the responsibility of the parish council. We have to serve notice on the owners, and after a certain time has expired, the parish council can move to take down the buildings and lodge a caveat against the title of the premises to recover the funds that the council would have spent. So that's a matter that the mayor, I'm sure, will have to address. But I also would like to thank the representatives from the Department of Correctional Service, DCS. Where are the DCS persons? They're gone. The people from PICA, Passport Immigration. Good. Anybody here from PSRA? Good. So I think at this time, from our side, which is 9 o'clock, we have to say thank you.
Yes, we have to talk to the minister after we've closed. Don't worry, he will give you a listening ear. But we have detained a number of people who've traveled long and far to be here, so you would understand. So we speak, Minister will speak to you after. All right, so I will ask Mr. Bennett from the Black River Development Committee, the president of the Black River Development Committee, to come for us to move the vote of thanks. I would really like, as he makes his way, to say my heartfelt thank you to the ministry team for coming down here, for coming down here and making this possible. But for the formal thank you, give him a round of applause. He's the chairman of the Black River Development.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Floyd Green, Minister Montague, Junior Minister, Minister of State, Mr. Charles, Mayor, His Worship, we, the members of the Black River community, are really grateful for you coming out and having this consultative process, taking the policy directly to the people. And it's very important that as community members that we recognize our role, the role of community members in building the state Jamaica. And I know many of us have had many concerns when we came here. And I'm sure that based on the presentations, we have been uplifted, we have been energized, and we have truly felt that we are part of building the type of Jamaica to live, to do business, and most importantly, to raise our families. And it's important that the Ministry of National Security has come and really present these policies. And we really want to say thank you to all the members of the team, to include those of the Jamaica Information Service and all the other media houses that are here. We really want to say thank you for coming, and we really hope that as a community, as participants in the building of Jamaica, that together we will share the ideas that Jamaica is not just a place where we exist. Jamaica is a place where we seek to own. This little spot, Jamaica, we own it. And when we know and recognize the fact that we own Jamaica, we are Jamaicans, then we will take steps to protect Jamaica and serve Jamaica, our country. And we really want to say thank you for coming out, the members of the Black River community as well too. And we thank you for your very attentive ears. We thank you for your robust participation, and we hope that we continue together to build the Jamaica that we all love. I leave you with a quote from the great Martin Luther, that until we recognize the codependence of our human existence, then we will never ever achieve true greatness. I need you, you need me. Thank you very much, Minister.
Let me thank you all for coming out. I know when we saw the weather we wondered, but Minister, you know the people of St. Elizabeth never fail to come out to participate in discussions about the country and about their area. Thank you again. There are light refreshments over by the hotel for those of you who want to refresh yourself before you travel to your respective homes. Please get home safe. God bless you. Peace and prosperity.
There's a war going on. Death is trying to take life, and life is stronger than death. But people believe that death is stronger than life, but we know that life is stronger than death. So life is the road.